Hey everybody, I was sent a link from Godiva, I think it's Godiva7721, to a video from Brene Brown. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Brene. It was a TED lesson, and I love TED education. I love watching those videos. You know, if you don't know, they're technology, education, and development. They're TED talks, and hers in particular was about vulnerability. And I love it when people send me links that get me thinking. And this, it seems like most of the videos that I've watched in the past that have made me think have had such a large influence on me. And then the more I go through it, you build up this, okay, I'm going to start here. We have a capacity for knowledge and for awareness. And you hit a point in your life where you have your epiphany. You may or may not. I think everyone has it at one time or another. The epiphany that life is so grand and vast, and it takes a huge dedication to live as a good person. So at that point, you make a decision that you're either going to embrace that, or you're going to ignore that. And that's where ignorance comes in. Well, we can live our lives and just ignore all that we could be and just do what we do. Those of us who take the other path, shit starts building up. It builds up fast. And you become overwhelmed, and it takes a period of years to get through it. But once it does, you start to climb up, you get to the top of the mountain, and then it's free fall all the way down to where you watch a video like hers, like that one, and say, yeah, I know that, I knew that. It's just confirming what we already knew, but in a way that puts a new perspective on it. And she was a psychologist, I think, and she had to go, or a psychiatrist, whatever, had to go to another psychiatrist that's for psychiatrists, I guess, because, you know, it's harder for them to find someone who can, as she said, sort through the bullshit. And her conflict was that she'd spent so long, you know, thinking about these things, and that it was getting to her. And I think that everybody reaches this point where it's like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I know what it takes to be a good human. I know what it takes to be me. And we can choose to fight it, and that's when we get angry. And her point was that vulnerability is essential. And I watched a couple of her other videos, and they were fantastic. And the vulnerability, allowing yourself to be vulnerable to someone, to people, is essential for growth. And I realized when I heard that that's what I do here. I mean, when I put my videos on YouTube, I'm being vulnerable to other people's criticisms. And I don't get a lot, but when I do, I find myself sometimes getting defensive. And then I think, okay, calm down. It's all good. You don't have to defend your point. We reach a point where we need to be vulnerable. We need to show people who we truly are. We can't hide from it. And she talked a lot about blame, placing blame on everyone, and how we blame governments and we blame other people and blame everybody for our own problems. And I just thought it was fantastic. She threw so many different aspects in. But it got me to thinking about something really important. And I realized that her whole point was to embrace who you are. And I know that I'm an intelligent person who has done research on various subjects and feel pretty confident in my ability to reason through things. But I still say things and do things that maybe at times are not, you know, to my full potential. But I'm human. I embrace that. I embrace who I am. But my vulnerabilities are minimal in my eyes because I have so many great things that I embrace. Now, that's where I come to my point, which is that so many people, we often want people to just say, hey, you know, love yourself and love the world, you know. And it's not that easy. It's not that easy for everyone. And that's the thing, is we know that that's the answer, is to love yourself and love the world, to being happy, you know, to acceptance, to an extent. And what about the folks that can't express themselves? And those are the ones that I'm talking for, you know, speaking for. The people who perhaps didn't get as good of an education, and maybe they can't spell very well. Maybe they're afraid, let's say, to make a comment on YouTube or do something because they can't spell very well, and they're afraid they'll be insulted for that, you know. And then they do finally make a comment, and somebody says, "Oh, you should learn how to spell." That's just how people are. So it's crazy out there, and we have to remember that each person has a little different of an aspect of what's important. So if anybody gets a chance, check it out. It's Brene Brown. I gotta go now because I hear the baby crying. My chance to make a video is over.